of these things as paleo-polaroids, or snapshots in time of the activities of these animals. What we're seeing here, preserved on this surface, is just a fleeting moment of what happened 300 million years ago in this ancient swamp.
These ancient creepy crawlies were C-list celebrities. But this was about to change as they earned their newfound status as the rock stars of Prehistoric Park. But before any of these became 3D creatures, they were trapped in a 2D world on one man's drawing board.
At the beginning of the process, we sort of sit around in the office with our fevered imaginations and try and think, well, what's going to happen, and, you know, what animals do we bring back, what are they going to do? You know, imagine a dinosaur getting pregnant or a mammoth needing a haircut because it's too hot. And what Louis does, the storyboard artist, is he sort of takes these mad thoughts and actually turns them into something that other people can get their heads around. Storyboarding is one of my favourite parts of the process because it's really there that you're making the program, you're making the film. It's actually a time where you can throw in as many ideas as you want, and if you've got a talented storyboard artist like we did, when you get the boards coming back to you and you look at them, you think, well, this is how, you know, this is how we're going to film it, and this is how it's going to look.
If you've got a document you can go back to every now and then to remind you exactly what you're supposed to be doing without any ambiguity at all, it basically ensures that you're going to be able to get what you knew you wanted in the first place, which can so easily start going awry as you get into the chaos of actually filming.
One by one, Nigel's extraordinary adventures were coming to life. From the hot swamps of the Carboniferous to the freezing temperatures of the Ice Age.
Program 2, very exciting for me, woolly mammoths. You know, we know quite a lot about them because they've actually been preserved in the permafrost. They only became extinct relatively recently, 10,000 years ago, and you can actually find out about their DNA. And paleontologists believe that they are very close in their social behaviour, how they lived to modern elephants.
But building a mammoth was not as simple as dressing an elephant in a hairy coat. They had to come up with a more controllable beast.
To create animals from nothing, you need something. I mean, one of the techniques we used was animatronics, which is basically a life-size puppet.
So they turned to a company called Crawly Creatures, experts in high-tech rubber models of all shapes and sizes.
I mean, when I first saw the animatronics, oh sorry, I've got a squeaky chair, but I'll start that one again. When I first saw the quality of the animatronics, I was stunned. I mean, the skill, the quality of the sculpture, the electronics that go into to operate them is breathtaking. I mean, there's no magic anymore that can do it. It's just brilliant.
Sightings of the rubber dinosaurs were reported around the globe, from Chile and Florida to Brazil and South Africa. Wherever they went, a team of dedicated operators would follow. Not only did they have to look good on their world tour, they also had to have the right moves.
I think even a slower move round and more of a kind of an amalgamation of different kinds of moves on her. So that, you know, push her forward a little bit, move her, rock her.
Most of the time, Martha the Mammoth was computer animation, but there were some moments when we were making the program that she had to be an animatronic because we were looking for an interaction.
Here, Wanky, here.
The elephant was carefully led up towards the animatronic mammoth, which remained hidden until the last moment.
The elephant handler had told us either the elephant will completely ignore the animatronic mammoth or she'll go crazy. We waited with bated breath to see what would happen, and then something really amazing happened. The elephant actually believed our mammoth was real, and she stretched out her trunk and she tried to interact with her. It was a really fantastic moment, and everybody actually believed that Martha, just for a little moment, was really real.
13 animatronics were used throughout the series, but the vast majority of the creatures were created by a team of computer graphic geniuses working at a company called Framestore.
We've worked with Framestore in the past, right from when we started doing Walking with Dinosaurs, and I think by working with them, together over the last sort of 6 to 8 years, we've together just kept pushing the boundaries about what you can do with this kind of factual program.
The Framestore team needed environments, so the directors spent months filming nothing but doing everything to get all they needed to build this fantastic world.
When you're trying to create a shot that will have some computer animation in it, you shoot what's called a backplate. That's an empty shot without the animation. Now, if you want a moving shot, then you have to not just shoot a single backplate, but you have to shoot several backplates in order to be able to sew them all together and then move through the shot.
In this shot, we put a pole in with a little ball on the top, just to give Nigel an eye line. Now, as soon as the eye line isn't there, if the actor's looking in the wrong place, you don't believe the shot. So in this case, he's there looking at what will soon be Martha.
You know, you get experience of imagining that you're looking a woolly mammoth dead in the eyes.
Acting with nothing is unusual, but you get used to it when you're doing it every day. You sort of have to build your own world, which all these fantasy creatures live in, or this invisible world.
Come on, it's time to meet your public. I knew I could do it. I think I had the temperature too low, but these two have finally hatched out. Come on, quick, sharp. Now the little rascals are following me everywhere. The trouble is, I was the first thing they saw when they broke out of their shelves, so now they think I'm their mum.
I do talk to my dog at home all the time, so I just thought we'd talk to them like you talk to Frankie.
Tuck in. Steady now, come on. Don't bolt your food. Look, if you eat that quickly, you'll get wind. Oh, it's not easy being a mother, you know.
And that's what I did, and it seemed to work, I think.
Oh, it's a Triceratops! It's a Triceratops! He's done it! Our first dinosaur, but look at him. He's magnificent.
Hold it, calm down.
While Nigel and the actors were running and jumping and imagining what the creatures will look like, back in London, the Framestore team are starting to build the creatures and bring them to life.
When we build our creatures, we start off with an actual physical maquette, which is sculpted. And this is really important because everyone can put it on the table and see exactly what we're looking at. This maquette is then scanned in using laser, and the information is then transferred onto the computer. Once that comes in, you need to build an internal skeleton to make the whole creature move, and this allows the animators to animate freely.
Once the scanning is complete, the animators take these virtual beings and breathe life into them. This is where the creatures take their first few steps and eventually run, jump, fly, or swim.
So it's very much like physically taking hold of a creature and then just posing it in certain ways, taking a snapshot of that, moving the time slide on, and then going to the next thing. Very similar to stock frame animation, except we don't have to redo it every single time it's filmed. We can save these positions and re-import them onto other creatures and move around with it and so forth.
But a very strange creature was proving to be complex to animate and even harder to pronounce.
Parasaurolophus. 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 Parasaurolophus.
Parasaurolophus.
Parasaurolophus.
Parasaurolophus. No, Parasaurolophus. No, it's not in my program.
The Parasaurolophus